Hello. Thank you so much for being with us, McKenna, and being willing to share your career experiences, your educational experiences with us. So, without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Emma, who has a couple of questions for you.
Thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm honored.
Oh, so where did you attend college for your undergraduate degree?
UNC Wilmington. So this is coming home for me.
Yeah, and what did you major and minor in?
I had a major in international studies, which I thoroughly love and enjoy. And then I had two minors, one in Spanish and one in women's and gender studies.
Hmm. So why'd you choose women and gender studies?
I showed up on the first day and met Dr. Kruger and said, I don't want to leave. It's pretty much how that went. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I took a WGS course every semester I was there, just because I wanted to. And that included things that were titled under history or titled under language or titled under sociology, that were tied into the minor. And so I got to look at interdisciplinary studies from so many different perspectives in how it impacts gender constructs. I'm so sorry, gender constructs and the way that we perform gender and the way that society interprets it. And it has changed the way that I think about the world, how I interact with other people. And when I took my first course, I wanted to know more. I had so many questions. And when Dr. Kruger told me that there was another class, I said, okay, I'm going to sign up and I'll keep going. And then after that, I just kept signing up for more. It was a space filled with people who had a love of and appreciation for one another, in a way that gave authenticity to everybody, but also valued understanding and acceptance even when you weren't able to fully understand something. You could have acceptance and value for the different ideas. And I just really love that.
Awesome. So what is your current job title?
None of what I have a major in. I am a current first grade teacher. I'm in my third year of teaching. I teach first grade in Wake Forest, North Carolina. And funny enough, I use things that I've learned in my women's and gender studies degree every day in ways I wouldn't have ever expected to, ways that are maybe not obvious to the outside. And I look forward to sharing some of those here. But I did become a first grade teacher.
Um, so what inspired you to apply for this job?
Uh, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a teacher. That changed in middle school and high school. And in college, I came back to that. I spent a semester abroad, and part of my semester abroad was teaching middle school English, and I loved it just as much as I had when I was tutoring. I started the tutoring program in my elementary school, in the seventh grade. I had amazing teachers who partnered with me and let me start that program, and I've done it in a variety of capacities ever since. And that my part of my heart has always loved being an educator, being able to sit with students of all ages and help them build confidence, learn skills, and see themselves in a whole new light. And it is such a privilege to be able to do that. So, being a first grade teacher is everything I imagined I could ever do. And it is such a privilege to be able to do it. Not everyone is lucky enough to do what they dream of doing. And don't get me wrong, there is pros and cons to every choice you make and everything that we do. But it truly brings me so much joy and exhaustion in my life. To have one without the other. And I am extremely privileged and excited to have this opportunity.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you kind of hinted on like an kind of answer to my next question, but what was your path like to get where you are now?
I started in middle school. I had to earn I guess you call them extra credit hours or volunteer hours. And I had a teacher that I was quite close with, and I used to spend one of my elective periods helping out around my school. And when I came to her and I said, what if I helped some of the other students with their language classes or helped them with their writing or their reading? And so she helped me start what would become the tutoring program at that school. And then I worked with programs like the YMCA to do their reading program. As a high schooler, I would go to the elementary school after school a couple days a week, and I would work on literacy with young students. I worked as a math tutor to second through college age students, second graders through college age students, in all sorts of math. So it kind of started really young, and then I continued to babysit, to tutor, to work with young kids, and I thoroughly enjoyed every second of it. It was challenging in the best of ways, and there is something about spending time with young kids. It just changes your perspective every day. They come out with some of the most brilliant and also wildest things I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
So they keep me young. They keep me energetic. They remind me what it is to look at the world without rose colored glasses, to just look at the world as it truly is without all of the constructs that society has put in place. What is it at its core? And so for me, getting the time to spend with 6, 7, and 8 year olds who are old enough to understand, but still young enough to see the world through this beautiful lens is a blessing. And I try to take advantage of, spending all that time with them and learning from them just as much as I hope that they learn something from me.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So, what does a typical day look like for you, or what are your day-to-day responsibilities?
It's an early start to the morning. We get up and I've got teacher meetings in the morning, and then students arrive at about 8:45, and we do morning meeting, which we all get to take our special spin on it. I enjoy teaching social emotional learning, so teaching about character traits or things that I've seen my kids do or say that I think we should address as a class. We should look at how we might respond to that. What are some different things we could do? How can we practice our coping skills when we're feeling really big emotions today? That kind of thing. I also love something that I implemented last year. We have a class motto, and it's I can do hard things and I will do hard things. And I always ask my students at the beginning of the day, what is hard for you today? And sometimes that's sitting still.
Mm.
Sometimes they tell me it's doing word problems. Sometimes they tell me it's being nice to my brother because he pinched me this morning. Sometimes it really can spread all across the realm, but it gives me a great chance to see where my students are at and be able to meet them there and help them transition through the day. And after that, we get started on the academics. We do phonetics and phonics. We do spelling. We do reading and writing. We do math. There's lunch and recess in there because, of course, I don't think first graders would let me ever forget those too. We also have 4 specials, so we rotate them. We have art, music, media, and PE. So my students really enjoy getting to do that. It's a little bit of something different every day. So by the time they're missing something, they're getting to do it again. And then we finish off for the day, and then I finish up some parent contact and lesson planning, things like that. And then I'm home. I get up early to exercise every morning, helps keep me on my mind and my emotions clear before I get to school, and help a bunch of 6, 7, and 8 year olds manage their emotions all day long. So that's a necessity. I enjoy cooking, so I try to cook myself a pretty decent meal, and then I make up actually snack boxes, something I started with my students. I know that some of them can always want the chips or the crackers or the cookies that their friends have. So I decided I love my fruits and vegetables. So I make a snack box and my kids are always asking me what's in it today? What do you have today? So it's really fun to get to teach them about, fresh fruits and vegetables, but also give them a chance to see that it can be a delicious snack just as much as the candy and the crackers. So it's always fun to get the kids at the beginning of the year who are, hiding the fact that they have an apple or a cheese stick for snack. And then we get a couple weeks in and they're like, look what I brought today. What Miss Castor has. Or wait, Miss Castor, have you ever had this snack before? And, the whole so other than that, I love to read, so I try to get some reading time in and time with my family. But other than that, that's kind of like what a typical day looks like. And then, of course, the weekends are recovering from. But in getting all the adult things done that we're supposed to do each week. But yeah, that's kind of what it looks like for me.
Awesome. Has having